Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Another quick game of Interplanetary I Spy going on here. Now, some of you may have seen this video, Mars ship confirmed from space, which seems to be going viral at the moment. It's doing rather well. Well, I was looking through this GIGAPAN of Sol 551 just the other day, and I found what looks like another ship at the bottom of Aeolis Mons, or Mount Sharp here. And I've also got it up here on the NASA JPL site, Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and it doesn't look so good in this image because this is one of their grungy, overcompressed images, but you can see it just here. But with the brown filter on it, it really doesn't stand out much. But when you look at it on the GIGAPAN, which has been color corrected, this has been white balanced already, which brings the blue back into the image, you can see quite clearly here that there's a ship, and when you zoom back, I'll zoom back out of it, you can see it from quite a long way back here, where this is probably about a mile away, possibly a couple of kilometers. Don't know exactly how far from the rover this is, but I'll show you in the GIGAPAN where to look. It's in the upper image here at Sol 551. So you just type Sol 551 into the search box and press go, and this will come up. So you want to look up here, right at the top, near the middle, and when you zoom in, you look along this dark blue area at the back, and you will see some very light coloured objects. Now, some of this may well be mineral deposits, but I really do think, as I've said before, that some of these structures here are man-made or Martian-made structures. They are not simply just rocks. And because it's been white balanced and color corrected, what you're probably seeing here is nearer to the true color, because if you look at the HiRISE images of this area, it's a very deep blue, this sand. So if anything, this sand would be much darker blue than it is here. We're seeing quite a light color here, but it would be quite a lot darker according to the HiRISE and MRO images. So there we have it. I mean, it doesn't get extremely clear, this one, because it is quite a long way off and it's not huge. I'm guessing this is quite large, possibly 100 foot long, possibly 80, could be larger. It's really hard to tell how long this thing is, but it's pretty obvious to me, and I'll go full screen here. It's pretty obvious to me that this is not a rock, because it's a completely different color to all the surrounding rocks, which are either blue or brown, and it's very bright white and much more luminescent in its brightness than the surrounding area. And if you look carefully to the right of it, just here, there's a long straight structure here, which looks like a dockside or perhaps a building. And these look like buildings up here, just here. Some nice symmetrical straight edges here. This may well be a dockside, and in fact there may well be other boats and ships here in this area, which are kind of moored, or were moored together, and are now largely buried in sand. Could have been there for thousands of years, could have been there for millions of years. I'm guessing not that long ago, as I've said before, probably nearer 70 years or less than 100 years old. Okay, I've also done some enhancements, as you can see here. I've clipped the image out from the GIGAPAN here, and I'll just run through some very quick enhancements that I've done. Here's a bit of a close-up of these potential buildings here, and there's some definite straight edges and long building structures in this area. And there's the raw clip from the GIGAPAN. Here's an enhanced clip of the boat. Here's the raw image, and you can clearly see that this is a boat-shaped or ship-shaped object here. And when you zoom in, you can see a structure sticking up here and another one here. This may well be the cabin or superstructure on the boat, or the remains of it, and there seems to be something in front of it which is very blurred, but can't really work out what that is. Let's go through to that. Now all I've done here is increase the contrast, and you can clearly see that this ship is much, much brighter than the surrounding area, which says to me it's probably made of a different material, probably metal of some sort, and not rock. Here's just a straight clip of that, and I've increased the contrast again, gone in a bit darker, and you can just make out that there's something on top of this thing that looks like a superstructure, and there's something weird in front of it as well, but it's too blurry to really make out what that is. Unfortunately, this is quite a long way off. If this was closer, we would see this in much greater detail. So when you zoom in, it doesn't really get any better. But you can see that there's something here. And I will do a few more clips of this and put them in at the end of the video like I normally do, and see if I can enhance it a bit more and get some more detail. I'm not going to promise you much because it's a long way off, as you can see. And when you look at the other images I've got here, it actually looks slightly clearer if you back away a bit and look from a bit more distance. But these do seem like buildings here, or dockside structures. As I've said before, this must be, I must have found 24 ships and boats so far in this area over the last couple of years, and they're all over the place. Unfortunately, the rover rarely gets close enough to them to see them in any detail. Most of the boats and ships I found are miles away from the rover, or at least a couple of kilometers away. But I do, if you look at my playlist, I do have some which are a lot closer. So do check this playlist out, Mars Boats and Shipwrecks. There are some very clear ones here that are only 50 meters away or less than 100 feet away, some of them from the Curiosity Rover, so they are quite clear. Most of them aren't. Most of them are larger and further away, but there are some that I've managed to match up with some HiRISE images as well. So have a quick look through some of these if you haven't already, and you'll see, especially this one here, the top, excuse me, the top video here, that's got about 5 or 6 different finds in it there, which I've compared back to back. So that's probably the best one to watch, because that's kind of like a compilation of some of the best boats and ships that I've found, including the one with the number plate, and there's also chains and cables in the area, so it probably was a dockside. There's all sorts of stuff here. I mean, it's getting to the point now where I'm not surprised by the number of boats and ships that I'm finding in this area, but it really does help if you use the GIGAPAN instead, because even though it's a much larger image to search, because they've been white balanced and slightly color corrected, you can actually see through the crappy filter that they normally put on these things, and it really does look much brighter than the surrounding area. And if I zoom back, you can get a pretty good idea of how far away we are from it at the moment. This is a good couple of kilometers away from the rover, which is just down here. So for it to show up that well and that large from a couple of kilometers away, it must be quite large. I'm guessing it's around 100 foot long, this thing. And there may be more in this immediate area. There's another strange structure here that looks like a dome just here, if you can see that. I'll take some more clips of these and put them in the end for you. And all along here, there seems to be some weird structures in the background here. And a lot of them are probably natural, but some of them don't look natural to me. And I'm sure some of you would probably think the same once you have a look. So I do recommend this Sol 551. Check it out. Go to the GIGAPAN, zoom right in, take some clips, enhance them, play with the contrast and brightness settings, and you won't need to color or white balance it because it's already been done, and you will see the same. What can I say? There looks to be another part of the dock side here with a large white looking ship with superstructures on it. And as for this dome, I'll take some clips of that and do some enhancements. That looks odd. It looks very odd. It looks far too symmetrical just to be a rock sticking up here. This could be some kind of ship or craft. It could be a hovercraft. Who knows? It could be anything. It could be a flying saucer that's parked there. Don't rule anything out when it comes to Aeolis. Mons is a very strange place. Lots of people keep saying that this is on Earth. It's not on Earth. If anybody out there can find somewhere on Earth that has dark blue sand all the way around it, and loads of strange symmetrical looking mounds next to a huge mountain in a crater which is 90 odd kilometers across, go ahead, prove it, show me on Google Earth. You know, it's all very well saying that this is in Antarctica. Doesn't look like Antarctica to me. There's a slight lack of ice and snow, and yes, it is a very small possibility it could be taken in some desert on Earth somewhere, But nobody seems to be able to match this to anywhere on Earth. And every time I ask someone who makes a comment like that on my channel, which is cool if you want to say that, that's right. But every time I ask someone to say where, show me the coordinates, they can't, and they just hurl lots of abuse at me. So if you're going to say this isn't on Mars, tell me where it is and show me on Google Earth where it is, because it's not on Google Earth. It's on Mars. It's on Mount Sharp. Is a very, very odd and anomalous mountain, and there's nothing like it on Earth. And if you can find it on Earth, then fair shout. I'll put my hands up straight away. I'll be the first to say, okay, you did it. But no one's been able to do that yet. And I really think this is just a method that people use to try and distract people from what they're seeing in these images. Basically, by saying it's not on Mars, they're just denying everyone like me and other Mars researchers. They're just denying us all the work we've done. Just because some of the NASA images have been altered and obfuscated, which some of them are, not all of them, doesn't mean they're all wrong. It doesn't mean they're all fake. It just means that some of them have been doctored. It doesn't mean they're all fake. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. Check out that playlist, as I said, and this main video here, if you hadn't already. Mars ship confirmed from space. It seems to be going viral. Thanks for watching. I shall see you soon.